Welcome to the Broadway.com show, filmed right here in the heart of Times Square. I'm Ryan Lee Gilbert.
And I'm Beth Stevens. This week we chat with Denzel Washington about the ICEMAN Cometh, hit the red carpet for opening night of Mean Girls, and more.
And later, Broadway newcomer and American Idol winner David Cook shows off his powerful pipes with a performance from Kinky Boots. But first, let's get started with the news. What's the buzz, Beth?
London's brightest theater night, the Olivier Award ceremony, took place this week, and you will not be surprised at all to learn that Hamilton came out on top. Lin-Manuel Miranda's hip-hop hit show was nominated for 13 awards and took home 7, including Best Musical. Other big winners of the night included the National Theater revival of Tony Kushner's Angels in America, which is now playing on Broadway. The two-part epic won awards for Best Revival and Best Supporting Actress, Denise Gough. The Best New Play winner was Jez Butterworth's The Ferryman, which will arrive on Broadway in the fall.
A musical adaptation of the cult classic film Empire Records is currently in development and aiming for Broadway with a targeted 2020 premiere in celebration of the movie's 25th anniversary. Carol Heikkinen will adapt her original script for the musical and said that the longer format will allow her to develop the characters even more. As for the music and lyrics, the show's score will be supervised by Jonathan Larson Grant recipient Zoe Sarnak, who hinted that the songs from the film, including Say No More, Mon Amour, may make their way to the stage. The 1995 film starred Renee Zellweger, Liv Tyler, Ethan Embry, Robin Tunney, Rory Cochrane, and Johnny Whitworth as a group of record store employees who band together to save the business from being sold to a mega chain. A director and additional creative team members for the show will be announced at a later date.
Michael Cera is going for a trifecta. The actor, who is currently starring on Broadway in Kenneth Lonergan's Lobby Hero and previously headlined Lonergan's This Is Our Youth on The Great White Way, has already lined up his next Broadway gig. It's a revival of The Waverly Gallery, written by, yep, you guessed it, Lonergan. The play, which was a Pulitzer Prize finalist when it was first produced in 2000, will also star Elaine May and Lucas Hedges, who was Oscar nominated for his performance in Lonergan's Manchester by the Sea. The Waverly Gallery centers on an activist and gallery owner's struggle for independence as she battles Alzheimer's disease and the effect of her decline on her family, especially her grandson. The production, helmed by rising director Lila Neugebauer, is set to run at the Golden Theater this fall. By the way, the hugely accomplished May has not been on Broadway since her successful run at the Golden in An Evening with Mike Nichols and Elaine May in 1960. So welcome home, Elaine.
So Michael Cera is like Kenneth Lonergan's muse.
Sort of, except Lonergan wrote these when Michael Cera was in grade school.
So like a muse after the fact.
Sure.
Roundabout Theater Company will present the world premiere of Pulitzer finalist Teresa Rebeck's new play, Bernhardt Hamlet, as part of its 2018-19 Broadway lineup. Tony winner Janet McTeer will star as Sarah Bernhardt in the comedy, which follows the legendary stage performer's ambitious quest near the end of her celebrated career to conquer the role of Shakespeare's Hamlet in a lavish production that played Paris and London in 1899. Directed by Tony nominee Moritz von Stulpnagel, Bernhardt Hamlet will begin performances September 1st at the American Airlines Theater, where it'll play a limited engagement through November 18th.
You can talk, bicker, and next year, you can see Broadway favorite Norm Lewis as Harold Hill in The Music Man. Lewis will take on the role of the iconic traveling conman in Meredith Willson's charming musical at the Kennedy Center in Washington, D.C. in February of 2019. The rest of the Kennedy Center season is also exciting with the production of Howard Ashman and Alan Menken's Little Shop of Horrors in October and The Who's Tommy in April 2019. That's 3 new reasons to visit the nation's capital.
And you don't need a pussy hat, a homemade sign, or outrageous anger against the current political regime.
Breathe, Ryan.
Emmy nominee Josh Charles, trans pioneer Kate Bornstein, and Ty Defoe will make their Broadway debuts in Young Jean Lee's Straight White Men, directed by Anna D. Shapiro, which will play the Helen Hayes Theater beginning June 29. They join Armie Hammer and Tom Skerritt in the play, with more casting to be announced soon. Tyler Glenn, lead singer of the band Neon Trees, will make his Broadway debut in Kinky Boots, taking on the role of Charlie Price beginning May 6th. He'll succeed American Idol winner David Cook, who will play his final performance on May 5th. Carrie St. Louis will also join the Tony-winning tuner, stepping into the role of Lauren beginning May 4th. And 4 performers who appeared in Second Stage Theater's off-Broadway revival of Harvey Firestein's Torch Song will reprise their performances in this fall's Broadway transfer, reuniting with the previously announced Michael Urie and Mercedes Ruehl. Officially joining the Broadway company are Ward Horton, Roxana Hope Raja, Michael Sue Rosen, and Jack DeFalco. Directed by Moises Kaufman, previews will begin October 9th at the Helen Hayes Theater.
When we come back, we catch up with the stars of the opening nights of Children of a Lesser God, Carousel, and more.
This week on Broadway.com, Children of a Lesser God star Joshua Jackson discusses finding his happy place in the theater on Show People. Waitress National Tour star Desi Oakley premieres the first vlog episode of Pie a la Road and more.
It'll take brains. It'll take courage. It'll take heart to prove I'm not wicked.
Hi, I'm Laurie Metcalf. You're watching the Broadway.com show.
Welcome back. The cast of Mean Girls painted the town pink this week as a musical adaptation of Tina Fey's 2004 hit film bowed on Broadway. We chatted with the stars at the Fetch opening night soiree.
The adrenaline is still coursing through my veins. It's insane. It's truly insane because we have been looking forward to this night so much. The energy was through the roof.
I remember when this first came out that maybe Tina Fey was going to make a musical out of this, and I called my agent and I was like, please, I'll do anything. And so to be here now, reflecting back on that, this is huge, and I'm just so grateful to be here.
The energy in the room was incredible. It's your friends and everybody else's friends. They've all come to really enjoy this thing that you've been working on for so long. They know how long you've been working on it. It was unbelievable.
There were 13 Broadway debuts, and these kids in this show are just the cutest and so excited to be on Broadway and just work so hard. So, that's infectious.
The stars told us how it feels to bring this film favourite to Broadway life in 2018.
It feels good. It feels like it's really relevant right now without feeling like, oh, we're going to update everything and change everything. I think it stays, it stays truthful to the movie and has the spirit of the movie, but it's stage worthy now.
It's interesting. When we first said we were going to do it, everyone said, well, you're going to update it, and you have to do social media. You have to do so much social media. And then so I actually talked to some teenagers. We had brought early in the rehearsal period. I brought some young women to see the show, and they were kind of like, by the way, don't think you have to do a ton of social media for us to get it. We get it.
In 2018, I think Damien is even more comfortable in his skin. And I have a lot of people coming up to me at the show, a lot of Damiens, quote unquote, saying it's so nice to see someone like me represented. And that's such a joy.
For me, 10 years ago, I don't think that I would have ever imagined that I would even be considered for the role of Gretchen Wieners. And the fact that as an ethnic performer, I know what my limits are, but truly, just to quote the show, the limit does not exist.
Though Mean Girls is a hilarious musical comedy, the stars revealed its deeper message.
I'm so keenly aware of what this show says and the way that we communicate the message that we have to those girls, and not just girls, to anybody that's going through that in their life.
That message that we're sending about, love and acceptance, and we don't all have to be best friends, but can we get along?
I think there's a whole new slew of challenges being a young teen.
The way that high school kids deal with each other, deal with themselves, deal with their self-image, deal with their hearts and their heartbreak is totally different with social media because everyone can watch you every minute of the day.
And this show, I think, sends the message of it's going to be tough. You don't have to be best friends with everybody, but everybody deserves dignity. So everybody deserves respect. And that's how we sort through the muck and the meanness to progress.
I love how we kind of hit that message home a little bit harder with the musical, to just not apologize for who you are, who you want to be, and not everybody gets along, but we all have to treat each other with dignity because one's dignity is non-negotiable. I don't care who you are.
Eugene O'Neill's The ICEMAN Cometh, which takes a hard look at drunks and dreamers, is back on Broadway starring Oscar and Tony winner Denzel Washington. We caught up with the stars to chat about bringing the denizens of Harry Hope Saloon to life on the Great White Way.
ICEMAN Cometh is a lot of drunk people in a bar in 1912.
For 4 hours, dealing with themselves.
When O'Neill wrote this, he wrote it from the experience he had as a younger man in the world of these bars, and one bar, two bars in particular, and the people who were outside of society, the people who don't get paid attention to.
I started my career with Eugene O'Neill, and it's 42 years later returning, so it's all, like I said, every night is just a discovery for me.
It's a wonderful, wonderful bunch of actors. This is a huge play, and it needs great character actors to pull it off, and we have them in spades here. They're all extraordinary, eccentric, strange, witty, wonderful people. And of course George is the leader of the merry band. George Wolfe, our director.
Well, he's brilliant. George is a genius, and so it's just great to listen, watch, be a part of, follow, and work with him.
Just as Denzel Washington is enjoying being led by his director, George C. Wolfe and the cast have high praise for the star.
He's got an extraordinary skill set as an actor, and he's got a fearlessness and a charisma and a ferocity of commitment, and all of those are Hickey. And he has an incredible depth, too.
I've waited a long time to be led by someone in a position of power who speaks spiritually and not religiously, but who talks about doing this because it's going to serve a purpose for other human beings. I waited a long time for Denzel Washington to come in my life, giving me hope that you can really want to do this, not for money, not for fame, but for the purpose of it.
This is a perfect part for him because he comes in and takes over the place and tries to inspire people, and don't want to give away the ending, but he's perfect for the part.
Yeah, and just electrifying and really playful in a lot of ways, that this part allows him to be at times sort of childlike and fun and goofy, and so I love seeing all the different kind of colors he's bringing to this. I think it's going to be really exciting for audiences to see it.
Mark Medoff's Tony-winning drama Children of a Lesser God officially returned to Broadway this week in a new production directed by Kenny Leon. Headliners Joshua Jackson and Lauren Ridloff are at the center of this remarkable love story that takes place at a school for the deaf. We caught up with them on opening night.
Feels pretty good. A Broadway debut period would be a big deal, but to be able to do it with something like this, which just demands everything, is just an incredible experience.
40 years ago almost, Mark Medoff put pen to paper, and we had an opportunity to reinterpret that for this generation. It was quite special and timely.
The show is a really good reminder for people to take a look at another person and listen to what they're really trying to tell you.
Every day, especially with the political climate the way it is, everyone is thinking it's my way or the highway. And I think we need to knock it off. We need to really start connecting with one another, thinking about how we can come together rather than pull people apart.
I think we're kicking too much beauty to the curb by only listening to those people that look like us or sound like us.
And the deaf community has the same wants, needs, desires, dreams, hopes as the hearing community. We have a responsibility to try to listen to each other.
The cast and director Leon revealed why now is the perfect time for this revival.
It thrives on universal themes, love, living, listening, and that never gets old.
Right now, there are so many different outlets. We have so many opportunities to speak out, but it feels like we're becoming more lost than ever. So I think that this play presents that to people again.
I think that the universal themes of love and wanting to be understood resonate with everybody. That's what we all want as humans. That's the human condition.
This love story between these two people who are desperately trying to understand each other, that's something universal that we all go through at some point in our life. And I think in this moment right now where we're having such a hard time being in true communication with people who are different from us or don't agree with us, I think that is incredibly relevant to this moment.
Rodgers and Hammerstein's timeless musical Carousel is back on Broadway in a sweeping new production starring Joshua Henry and Jesse Mueller, directed by Jack O'Brien. We hit the red carpet on opening night to chat with the stars about this eagerly anticipated revival.
I'm feeling great. Feels great to open this thing, give this show to the world after working on it for such a long time. And it's nice because I feel like audiences are really moved by it.
It was a journey. I think back to like where we started or how we started, but the thing I like about it is getting into the room with the people that you're going to be playing with, and then you realize how much of the work is sort of done for you with that, and then you get to like my Julie's because of Jess's Billy or Lindsay's Carrie, and that's just so true.
The fact that I have been given this opportunity to take this amazing role and put it out there in a production of this caliber is like, I'm like, whoa, how did I get here? What am I doing here? A little bit.
So many people have said to me, Carousel's my favorite show. It's the emotional pull on this. It's a very deep, tragic story.
I just had a child 3 weeks ago. Going through that process really informs a lot of what Billy is for me right now. And singing this soliloquy is, it's really such a special, unique moment to mirror what's going on in my life right now.
The cast shared how it feels to be part of reviving such a beloved classic.
It was revolutionary when they wrote it, and I think it still feels kind of revolutionary now. and it still feels timely, and that's what makes it a classic. The fact that you can look at it again, you can reinterpret it again, bring different artists to it, different points of view.
A true sign is a masterpiece is you can visit it every couple years, every night, and hear something new. I think there's a lot about this show that speaks to cracking open your heart and allowing yourself to be loved.
The show is about imperfect people and people who are trying to navigate their worlds the best they can and not always succeeding. I don't know about you, but I can sure as hell relate to that.
And I think the story asks the question, do we give people a second chance, and being seen for who you are, not for anything else but who you are inside.
When we return, we check in with American Idol winner David Cook, currently making his Broadway debut in Kinky Boots.
Wasting away again. Don't waste another minute. Critics are calling it Paradise on Broadway. And Entertainment Weekly says Escape to Margaritaville will knock your flip-flops off.
Now I think about the good times down in the Caribbean sunshine.
It will transport you on a high from start to finish. So don't miss Broadway's Good Time musical.
Welcome to Margaritaville.
Don't let the party start without you. Get your tickets today.
And we are back with David Cook. Oh my God, David Cook, you're on Broadway. It's crazy.
This is nuts.
I didn't expect you to be on Broadway.
Me either, but here we are, right?
I was a huge fan of you on American Idol.
Thank you so much.
I was a big supporter. I think I even called in
for
you, and I don't normally do that.
Thank you.
But big fan.
That's
you
awesome.
won American Idol.
I did.
That's cool. Where's the trophy? Do you have it with you?
It's on a mantle in my basement. I'm allowed to decorate. So at my home in Nashville, my wife allowed me to decorate the basement. So it's like it's collecting dust in a corner somewhere.
Okay,
But
man cave.
A man cave.
Okay.
That's
Do they
right.
still do that? Is there still the thing, man cave?
Yeah.
Yeah,
or at least at our house. So yeah.
You are Charlie Price.
Yes, sir.
Great role. You're in Kinky Boots, the Tony-winning musical.
Yeah. Getting ready to start my second week, and the first week was an amazing experience. I learned a lot. My first show was like this 2.5-hour panic attack, where it was just like, everybody's just shoving with love, and I'm trying to remember lyrics, and but it's such a great experience, and with this being my first experience, I don't know if this is true of all shows, but from top to bottom, cast, crew, everybody's been just so welcoming and nice. And I always remember this saying, like, if you walk into a room and you can't figure out who the jerk is, you're probably it. I think I might be the jerk here. So
yeah, Broadway people are nice.
Yeah.
It's a nice place.
I'll take it.
So I was thinking about it. I didn't know when I heard that you were going to do a musical. I was very surprised. But then I was thinking, people down at Blue Springs South High School actually
somebody's done their homework. I like this.
They actually have seen you do musicals before. So tell me about your little secret high school musical theater past that I didn't know about.
Yeah.
Because Simon Cowell would have hated that.
Well,
right?
So I my freshman year in high school, I played sports throughout the year, and I remember that winter I was playing basketball, and I went to go see The Music Man at my high school, and I was just like, I think I kind of want to do that instead. So then I quit basketball just to do the winter musicals that we did every year, and I did West Side Story. I played Riff, and my senior year I was Cosmo in Singing in the Rain. So, and then went to college on a theater scholarship, but my band at the same time was kind of starting to pick up speed, and so
Look at that.
I dropped the minor.
Two possible paths.
I know.
And the other one sort of took over.
But it all came back around.
And now you're back.
Yeah.
So what do you love about Kinky Boots? I mean, that Cyndi Lauper score is amazing to sing, right?
Sure. The music is fantastic, of course. I love the challenge that Charlie Price represents for me. As far as acting goes, I feel like I'm able to find a little of myself in Charlie. But there's a lot about Charlie that was a challenge for me, not least of which the accent. I'm from the Midwest, so it's y'alls are pretty common. But to really kind of delve into the British accent and really trying to challenge myself that way was a lot of fun. The show itself, I think it's topical. Love and acceptance are things that I think we could all use quite a bit more of now. It feels like very red team versus blue team. So to kind of help tell this story that talks about inclusion and acceptance and all those things, it's a big honor.
I want to hear a little of that accent. Can you be like one of your favorite lines?
Favorite line. Good day, Mr. Banker. We've gone tits up making the best shoes in England, but we've chucked all that to make boots for transgentries. So how'd you like to bunk in with us?
Jolly good. I'm so impressed.
Y'all. Then they y'all. Yeah.
Would you please honor us with a little music? You're sitting here.
Yeah.
I love the score. I want to hear you. I want to hear a little of this.
All right, let's do Soul of a Man.
Oh my God, that's like the showstopper.
Perfect.
I'm so into it.
All
Let's
right.
do it. Thank you, David. So nice to meet you. And everyone, you can go check out David in Kinky Boots through May 5th.
May 5th.
Thanks for coming in.
Thank you so much. I'm bad news, black and blues, who's a loser? A merry-go-round spiraling down. I'm all used up, I'm chafed and chewed up. Who's just screwed up? The same old Charlie hitting the ground. 'Cause I'll never be the soul of a man, noble and wise like the soul of a man, who lifted me high like the soul of a man, heroic and true like the soul of a man that I looked undone. What else could I do? Stupid hubris, no excuses. I blew my fuses. Guess I'm just a ruse in my father's shoes. Not amusing, no confusing. This streak of losing, totally brutal and useless too. How can I be the soul of a man, noble and wise like the soul of a man, who lifted me high like the soul of a man, heroic and true like the soul of a man that I looked undone. What else could I? Just when I'm reaching for that rung at the top, I'm that broken heel, unsteady and ready to drop. When will I be the soul of a man, noble and wise like the soul of a man, who lifted me high, soul of a man, heroic and true like the soul of a man that I looked undone. What else could I do? I'll never be, no, I'll never be. I am gonna let you down. Oh, soul of a man. Here comes that familiar sound. Same old Charlie hitting the ground.
When we come back, a performance from the West End company of Hamilton at the Olivier Awards.
It'll take brains. It'll take courage. It'll take heart to prove I'm not wicked.
Hi guys, I'm Kat McPhee, and you are watching the Broadway.com show.
Thank you for watching the Broadway.com show.
We leave you with a revolutionary performance from the West End cast of Hamilton at the Olivier Awards.
See you next week.